Caramelized ribs are a true Vietnamese family favorite, and it's also a dish I find myself coming back to again and again. I usually cook it a few times a month, especially when I want something simple but really delicious. This recipe very simple, but the ribs come out tender, juicy, and deeply infused with rich caramel flavor. I'll also share a few tips to help you get that beautiful caramel color without burning, and how to keep the ribs tender and full of flavor every time. This is the kind of dish that brings everyone back to the table. Let's get started. With just a few simple ingredients: pork spare ribs, fish sauce, sugar, garlic, and shallots. Start by cutting the racks of ribs into smaller, bite-sized pieces. And you can also trim off any excess fat if you prefer. Next, add enough cold water into a bowl. Then add 2 tablespoons of vinegar and half a teaspoon of salt. Then let the ribs soak in the water for at least 30 minutes. This step not only helps gently tenderize the meat thanks to the vinegar, but also draw out impurities from the bones. As a result, your ribs will be cleaner, and when you cook them later, your dish will look clearer and taste fresher without unwanted residue. Next, I move on to preparing the aromatics. I use about 15 grams of shallots and mince them finely, along with 2 cloves of garlic. Mince them as well. After soaking the ribs in the vinegar and salt solution for about 30 minutes, you will notice that a lot of impurities have been released from the bones. I discard that soaking water, then rinse the ribs once more with cold water. Place them in a colander and let them drain a bit before cooking. Now it's time to make the caramel color. Add 1 tablespoon of cooking oil and add 2 tablespoons of sugar to the pan over medium heat. Let the sugar slowly melt, and don't stir it at first or it will clump up like this, so you can gently swirl the pan instead. When the sugar turns a light amber color, you can start stirring, or you can gently swirl the pan to help the sugar color evenly. Once you see the pan starting to smoke and the sugar starting to form tiny bubbles and the color also deeper, turn off the heat, then add the ribs right away. If you wait too long, the sugar will burn and turn bitter, because even off the heat, the sugar will continue to cook and darken. Once you add the ribs, quickly toss in the minced garlic and shallots right away. Stir and turn them evenly so they are fully coated in the caramel. It gives the ribs a rich and beautiful color. At this point, I don't even turn the heat back on yet because the pan is still very hot. When you notice the pan starting to cool down, turn the heat back on. This way, it's easier to control the color of the ribs and the caramel color won't burn too quickly. Once the ribs are evenly seared and coated, add 2 tablespoons of fish sauce and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Then stir well so the seasonings fully dissolve and blend into the ribs. The seasoning is already well balanced, with just the right amount of saltiness and sweetness. However, if you are using a different brand of fish sauce, you may need to adjust the amount, since each fish sauce has a different level of saltiness and intensity. Then add a quarter cup of water to start braising the ribs. Then cover the pan and let the ribs gently simmer over low heat for about 30 minutes. While the ribs are simmering, turn them occasionally so they brown evenly and absorb the sauce well. This gives them time to become tender and absorb the rich flavors. If you prefer the meat even softer, you can extend the cooking time to around 45 minutes. After simmering for about 30 minutes, uncover the pan. You will see there's quite a bit of sauce at this stage. So we need to turn the heat up and let the sauce reduce slowly. This will help it cling beautifully to the ribs and deepen the flavor as it cooks down. Depending on your preference, you can control how much sauce to leave in the pan. For me, I prefer the sauce a bit thick, but still saucy, so it's really delicious with rice. It might look like this dish is complicated, but it's actually not that hard to make. Have you tried making this before? Let me know in the comment below. It may seem a bit tricky the first time you make caramel color, but once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. You can also find remade caramel color at many Asian grocery stores, but somehow the store-bought ones is always darker than what we make at home. I hope you will give this recipe a try and make it a family favorite. It's tender, flavorful, and has such a beautiful color. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and share it with your friends and family. I really appreciate it because it motivates me to make more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.